Good morning, everyone. Welcome to MBA Karo. So today we have this special session on SRCC GBO GDPI. Since the results were out yesterday and students must have seen their merit list and must have started preparing for the GDPI also. And some of you must have had doubts about the process, that how it goes. So today I have Aashi with me. She is a current student of SRCC GBO and she is a member of the PR cell of SRCC as well. So welcome Aashi to this session. So please introduce yourself to the audience.
Hi everyone. My name is Aashi, and thank you, Pranav, for inviting me here for the session. So, firstly, congratulations to all of you who have cleared the cutoff and have, come for this GDPI preparation. So, the battle is almost won. The talking about myself, my name is Aashi Verma, and I did my graduation from Delhi University itself in BCom honors. So later I've worked in Amazon. I have a decent, 2 years of experience in Amazon, working into Amazon Maps, Last Mile Analytics and Quality, and then into Amazon Supply Chain and Logistics. And then post 2 years of experience at Amazon, I joined SRCC GBO. And currently I'm in the second semester first year. And I am the batch representative of SRCC GBO as well, the member of PR cell as Pranav mentioned, and also the member of CII via UI SRCC. Yeah.
Okay, so Ashi, we have a lot of doubts. Students have a lot of doubts about SRCC GBO. The first thing is that
Yeah.
they are confused about the degree that they get, right? It is not MBA, it says GBO. How it is different from MBA, right? Or there is any difference, or is it similar to it? So can you please clear your doubts? And we would like the audience also, if you have any queries, right, you can comment the queries, and towards the end of the session, we will discuss those specific questions also. So we should start with this thing that please throw some light on this GBO program, what it is and what can the students expect out of this program.
Okay, sure. SRCC GBO. So the full form of GBO is Global Business Operations. So it's a holistic course that is associated on the global environment, on the Indian environment, sort of international business, and it provides you a holistic curriculum that involves everything that you need in your MBA. So we study everything. It's marketing, strategy, consulting, quantitative techniques, aptitude, etc. So this is more like a holistic curriculum that provides you a full view or the insight of how does an MBA work and what are the essentials for the same. So, talking about GBO, how we are different and why should people join us? Reason is GBO, as we know, SRCC has a legacy to carry with itself, and GBO being a part of it, so does it has. So we have this top class faculty who's teaching us. We have the people who are the CEOs level, and then they teach us in IFTs, IMs, and then we have people who are teaching in IFTs, the teachers and all. So the faculty is very nice. Second is the kind of exposure you get in SRCC is very good. So you get to have a lot of industry interactions. You get to interact with the people who are working in industry. You get the analysis of the real life case scenarios, that how situations in real corporate life appears. So you get to visualize, you get to analyze that how to behave in some sort of situations. And also the kind of subjects that we have, they are very relevant in today's scenario. We are operations, we have proper scenarios related to subjects related to global business environment, we have subjects related to international business, we have business environment, etc. So I think we pretty stand out in the form of the faculty we have, the kind of batch profile we have, the kind of people who are there in the batch, the courses that we study, the exposure, the industry interactions, which make us, a wholesome amount of information that you need. Yeah.
Okay, so it seems that it is almost equivalent to MBA in terms of the curricula, in terms of the industry exposure, etc. However, it is, I believe that SRCC GBO is an underrated program. So now let's talk about the GDPI process. Okay, so
Yeah.
the written result is out and people have been shortlisted for this process. So can you tell that what does this GDPI program involve? What is the significance of GDPI? How much weight does it have, to clarify for the students?
Yeah, sure. Talking about the weightage that the GDPI has a 25% weightage. So 75% weightage is given to your written exam that you have all cleared. and 25% is given to the GDPI, out of which GD has a weightage of 10% and PI has a weightage of 15%, which is your personal interview. So talking about what does a GD consist of? It is primarily a 10 minutes group discussion where you have a team of like 8 people discussing on the topic. The topic is given by the panelists, and topic could include anything. This could be extract, it could be geopolitical, it could be related to the Indian economy, it could be related to everything that is around you. And once the GD is done, you go for your PI, and PI is taken forward accordingly. So this is an entire agenda that how a GDPI happens. So in the further questions, I would answer that what all topics that you can prepare as well.
Okay, so it is GD is not an eliminating route, right? So every candidate
No,
has to appear for
GD is
both
not
the.
an elimination. Every
Okay.
person who gives the GD gives the PI as well.
Okay, so
Yes.
one has to appear on both, and the cumulative score is used for preparing the final merit list. Okay,
Correct.
now
Correct.
some students have this doubt that, like, since GDPI consists of 25% weight and the written test has 75% weight, so the students who have just managed
Correct.
to clear the cutoff have this misconception that they may not be able to make it to the final list. So, can you tell that how true it is, or is it just a rumor, or can you throw some light on its
Yeah. See,
real nature?
I'll clarify this now. It's not like that the people who have just cleared the cutoff or among the last ones are not able to make through GBO. It's nothing like that. I'll talk about myself. So when I gave the written exam, I was ranked 95 in my OBC category. So the people who are just at the edge for them to clear it. Number one. Number second is, I think your written exam is now done. A lot amount of weightage that comes is through your GDPI, how you perform over there. So if people think that we have just managed, we won't be able to do it, etc. So nothing. I think if you're able to clear it, it's well and good. Just prepare focusly on GDPI right now. Be aware, start reading. There's always a chance to get in. I was ranked 95 when I cleared the entrance, and then I was ranked 8 the GDPI came. So I was also very speculative that whether I would be able to clear it or not. Nothing like that. If you do well, then you'll surely able to make through this course.
Okay, yeah. So since it also has a significant weight, if you manage to do poorly on the GDPI despite giving a high score, then you have the chances that you may get eliminated also. So one should not take it lightly. Okay, so one should take it seriously. Now let's come into the details of group discussion. So what does this group discussion have, right? What are the type of topics that are given? And like if you could recall the topic which you got last year or your friends got, so can you throw some light on that?
Yeah, so the GD, as I mentioned before, consists of around 8 to 10 people who are sitting in a group. So it's primarily of around 10 minutes, out of which 2 minutes are given for you. Once the person or the moderator tells you the topic of your GD, you're given nearly 2 minutes to jot on the points that you want to discuss, and then the GD starts. So this is how it happens. So before 1 minute of the completion of the time that is allotted for the GD, bell rings. Just as a reminder to you all that you need to now wrap up and give your. So this is how the process happens. Now to the question that what sort of topics need to be prepared for the GD, I would say that it's very important for you all to read. Read the newspapers as much as you can. We have newspapers given as Times of India, we have Economic Times, etc. So it's very important for you to read on that what is happening globally, what is happening in the anything that is happening around which is related to geopolitics, the economical affairs. So you should be aware. See, reading is the key to your GD. I'm repeating it again, and is the key to your PI as well. So the interviewer as well can ask you any question that is happening in your current scenario. So firstly, read as much as you can. Start reading newspapers if you do not right now. And if you're reading, then it's well and good. Read. Second is the kind of topics that you can expect in your GD include topics that could be related to your economy, the geopolitical topics. It could be the global issues. It could be Indian issues. It could be abstract topic as well. It could be topics that are asking your opinion for and against. It could be any sort of situation that they give you and they want to come up a solution for the same. It could be any sort of case study as well in which they give you and they ask you that how would you plan about it for the same. So these are primarily that could happen. And yeah, this is pretty much that the topics that are really asked in the GD. Yeah.
So it is basically as good as GD of any other B school, right? So it is quite much similar to
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
The
it's
process
as good as
also is
GBO
similar.
Premier the
They give you time to jot down the points and then speak on the GD. So can you give some tips how to ace the GD's part?
Yeah. So also I would like to answer this question that previously that you asked, that what was asked in my GD. So my topic in the GD was, is the startup bubble going to burst in India? So this was the topic that was given to us. As I mentioned, see, startups have seen a huge amount of rise and is also a buzzword that is seen around that startup bubble is bursting or not. And similarly, you have topics related to AI as well. So one thing I would like to also tell the students who are watching this, keep be aware of the current things that are coming up in the scenario, may it be related to AI, may it be related to machine learning, or may it be related to any sort of global things that is happening. It's very important for you to be aware. Also, you should have been reading before and past the year that is being happening, unicorns, startups, etc. Just be aware about the same. For example, I'll tell you one more topic that was asked to my friend. That is it important for the politicians to follow their family hierarchy, or is it important politicians to educate? So they can ask you anything, right? But then if you want to answer it, it's very important that you know have an information about the topic. Now, the question that Pranav asked, that how do you plan about to go for the GD, right? Pranav, that was the question that you
Yes,
asked
yes.
right now.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
tips
So
about cracking the GD.
Once you enter the hall in which the GD is happening, I would give you some tips which are very important. See, number one, once the topic is being given to you, make sure that you have at least some 5 to 10 points which is clear in your head that you're going to speak about it in your time when you're given 2 minutes to jot down about it. Secondly, I would say that try to initiate a GD if you can. See, initiation of a GD not only gives a thing that you are the person who's starting it, but it also, gives a point of view that see that person knows about the topic that is going on. So try to initiate the topic. Secondly, even if you're not able to initiate it, it's perfectly fine. So if the other person initiate it, I would give you this thing that be very attentive when you're in the GD, and you should listen to what other persons say, because you should avoid giving the repetitive points. See, whenever you try to speak in a GD, it's very important that you give a new perspective on the table. Do not repeat what the other person has said. Just analyze what he's saying and just try to give your point of view on the same. It might be possible that you might not be having the correct knowledge about the topic. It's okay. See, if you have heard someone, it's okay. After hearing that person, you might have some idea, okay, this is the topic that is going on. Just try to bring out your opinion for the same, but make sure that you give a new point on the table. Third is, do not just indulge into a fight that let me speak. No, it's not important that for how much time you speak. It is important, but more important is that whatever you're speaking, you're able to add a view perspective to the same. See, most of the people think that they should speak for the most of the time, or they should be the one who's interrupting the most, and they should be speaking so that they're visible to the faculty or the moderator over there. It's not like that. It's very important that whenever you speak, you should respect the other person who's speaking as well. If you have a point and the other person is speaking and he's interrupting, you can just say, can you give me just 5 minutes and 5 seconds, and I'll just end up my point, and then you can probably start. So these are some of the ways in which you can just let the person know, okay, let me speak for 5 seconds, and then you can probably start after me. So do not indulge into a fight of speaking more. I'm again saying indulge into a thing that whenever you speak, you add a new perspective.
Okay,
So
so
these are the points.
yeah, so some great tips for GD. So I hope the viewers would keep these points in mind. That will help them ace the GD part. Now, talking about the personal interview, right? So just tell that for what is the usual duration for the interview, what kind of questions one can expect in the interview.
Yeah. So the duration of the PI, the personal interview, can anyway range depending about how you are taking your interview forward. So primarily it's of 10, 15 minutes, and as it could extend that so on and so forth as per what the conversation is going on with the interviewer. So talking about how to initiate a PI, it's very important that you establish a sort of conversation with the interviewer who's interviewing you. See, I think it's very important to maintain an eye contact, number one. And number two is try to indulge into a conversation that what he is asking, okay, then you're, replying back. It should build a conversation. It should never be like a one-way conversation that is happening. No. Second is some sort of questions. See, they could ask you anything. See, if you are studying, I would give you three things or three charters that you can prepare. Number one is, if you are a fresher, be very well versed of your academics. What you have studied, You go back and revise it. You should know what you have studied in the academics so that if the interviewer asks you the question about the same, you should be able to answer it. The second is for the people who are having a work ex, it is very important for you as well to have a fair idea of what you studied in your MBA in your graduation time, and also it is very important for you to make the interviewer understand that what was the thing that you worked upon. You should be able to explain the interviewer your work experience that you have done. Also, I think the third thing is we have some very common questions that is asked, like introduce yourself, or where do you see yourself in 5 years, or something. So I would say that in introducing yourself, introduce yourself, say all the important highlights that you want the interviewer should know about you. Any achievements that you have, just say it. And also, sometimes the interviewer might ask you that introduce yourself in 60 seconds, but you might have planned your interview or the introduction that might go beyond 60 seconds. So I think you should just prepare this Excel that if he asks you to present yourself in 60 seconds, make sure that you give your all highlights, make sure that you cover your all entire relevant points, so that it might leave a hook for the interviewer as well, and your interview can go on the same. So this is one thing I would like to say. And see, academics are pretty unpredictable. The interviewer can ask you anything that he could, just remember from your stream. And it's also not very important that a person who's sitting in front of you is from your stream as well. So he might not ask you questions related to academics, but he might ask you questions that are situation based. That to judge your level of thinking or your level of reasonability while you're answering the questions. So that is also one thing that situation based questions can come as well. So this is the entire agenda, I guess.
Okay, so it covers all sorts of questions. It could be academics, it could be HR questions,
Yeah,
situation-based questions, and if someone has a work ex based questions. So if
yeah.
let's say a person has around 2+ years of work ex, do they still need to prepare their academics?
Yeah, I had 2 years of experience. I prepared for it. See, it's always good to be prepared for worse. I, think like that because most of the people think that your entire interview must be from your CV. It is, but then there's always, a 0.1 chances that it could be from your academics as well. So I think if not much, at least you should have an idea that even if he ask you something, then you are able to explain at least the basic things. It's not like that you're sitting blank over there, then that is wrong.
Okay, so we've covered that academics thing. Then you have HR questions, situation-based questions. If someone has work ex based questions, etc. One another
Yeah.
thing which is commonly seen in B school interviews is current affairs, right? So does SRCC
Yeah.
also ask current affairs? And what
Yeah.
should a student be prepared for related to the current affairs?
Yeah, I was just about to come on that point. See, as I mentioned in the GDA as well, it's very important for you to know the current happenings in the entire world, India, etc. So, sometimes the interviewer can just ask you that, just tell me the most important news or the two news have you studied from the newspaper, or just tell me what has been the recent news. So for that, it's very important for you that you know what are the current affairs that is going on in your country for the past 2 weeks or 1 month accordingly. For the interview, I believe past 1 month or 2 months would be enough if they ask you the question about the same, and accordingly they can just start asking that what is your perspective on the news that you have told or something like that. So yes, current affairs do play a very important role. They can ask you questions, and they really almost ask questions that are related to current affairs to test your knowledge. That's apart from your academics. So yes, it is important.
Okay, so it means that it is as good as any other interviews if anyone has appeared on, right? So in case you appeared on any B school interviews, the things which you prepared, that is your CV. By CV, I mean your academics, your like work ex, and if you happen to have any hobbies, I guess they might be asking questions related to hobbies and other extracurriculars as well.
They can. They can. Yes, yes.
Okay.
So I had to trekking and hiking, so they asked me a question on that only. So yes, they can ask. They can ask on your hobby if they want to.
Okay,
Yes.
so be prepared with everything, whatever is mentioned in your CV. Okay, so you can get
Yeah.
all those things, and then of course you need to be prepared with current affairs. Should have some opinions on some of the recent happenings over the world, and of course there might be some abstract questions as well. So this is what
Yes.
exactly the GD and PI looks like. Okay, it is nothing alien that you need to be fear of कि क्या पूछ लेंगे, right? So it is all things which are within your scope of preparation. Now, Ashi, please give some preparation guidelines. how to prepare for the GDPI, and what resources students can refer to for this program.
That for the PI, it's very with your CV. You should know that everything that you have mentioned, you must be able to justify it for the same. Even if it's the fact that you have mentioned any sort of tools, maybe you must be doing SQL, Python, etc. So you must be able to ask the question related to the same. Do not write anything in your CV that is something which you cannot really justify to the interviewer when he asks you. Be very honest with your CV is one thing I would like to say. And resources for the preparation, I would say that for the newspapers, of course, we have a lot amount of digital apps and the newspapers coming. Mint and Times of India and the Economic Times are three really good newspapers that you can just refer for understanding about the current affairs and these current happenings around the economy and the globe. Also, regarding the acads, I think you people must be very well versed with your acads as well. So there is nothing specific channel that I could recommend you for the same. But yes, you have a lot of MBA channels like MBA Karo itself and a lot more, which you can refer if you just want to brush up your topics that you have studied for your preparation. And resources, yeah, see, PI is generally your CV and your current happenings. So I think CV is the thing that you must be doing the best, and like I mentioned, newspaper, the current news, etc. And for the GD, see, a lot amount of MBA sites as well provide you a lot amount of GD topics. So universe, you have a lot of MBA channels also that are providing you the hot topics that would come in your GD. So you can refer that. See, the more the better is the thing. So keep reading so that, or keep reading about the topics that are already mentioned on the internet so that you can have an idea. Okay, if somewhat similar comes, this is how I want to approach it. So this is the entire thing that you can do for the preparation.
Okay, so one has around 20 days to go, because I guess the dates are from 7 to 11, and
Seven, yes.
far as I know, they give you the slots, right? Or do one has to choose the slot, or will they allot the slot for the interview?
No, no, no. Slots.
Okay,
One
so
will
they
the
will allot you the slots, and on
yeah,
that particular day, you will have to appear on the process. Okay, so yeah, Ashi,
yeah,
thanks for giving us these inputs about the process. So it is clarified that like this is not something new. Some of the students who have appeared on GDPI of other institutes know that what needs to be prepared. It is exactly the same,
yeah,
nothing new in it.
yeah,
What about those? Now let's talk about some students who managed to clear. GBO is the only exam that they managed to clear, and this is the best possible call they have. So, some additional tips
yeah.
that you would like to give that they need to do in the next 20 days so that they can convert this golden opportunity.
See, I was the same person who just gave the GBO exam, and I had this only in my hand. So, what I did, as I am again mentioning the same, that if additional tips you talk about, I was, very aware of what is happening right now because I know that I had only this exam that I want to clear, and GBO is something which I've aimed to be into a college like SRCC, and SRCC being known for its legacy and education it has. So it was something which I really wanted to achieve. And talking about the tips, I would say that keep reading, and you can connect with any of us from our batch or from our senior batch. We can just give you the guidelines, and everything that you might require for any sort of questions that you have. Feel free to reach out to us, and we'll be happy to help you. So for the freshers, it's very important that they're well versed with their acads, and for the people who have the work experience, it's very important that you're well versed with your acads and with your work ex as well. But I'm again emphasizing on the fact that do read as much as you can the news and everything that is happening globally and internationally.
Okay, so one common query that students have is
Yeah.
regarding WorkX and ACADS. This thing that some people think that the people with WorkX have an addition add-on advantage. So, is there anything? Could you please clarify that? What is the
No,
advantage of
it's no.
students that have
We
WorkX, or all are on the same page?
See, all are at the same page. There is nothing like that you have been given additional preference for the same. I think it's the D-Day that matters, and how do you perform in your GDPI. So if you think that I really have a work experience and I'll be able to do it, no, it's nothing like that. And also in our batch, also we have a lot amount of freshers only as compared to the people who have the work experience. So it's nothing like that people with the work ex are given the preference for the same. we have more freshers than the people who have already worked. So there's nothing like that. I think the people who are having the work ex and the people who are the freshers are given the equal opportunity to represent themselves in the GDPI accordingly.
Okay, so this means that no special points for work-ex.
No, no, no. See, there are points. See, it depends upon the kind of work ex that you have. I would not say that there are no points. Yes, there are points, but they are not those points that gonna give a privilege to a work ex. I think if you're a fresher and you're able to define yourself well, it's equivalent to a person who's having a work ex. So if talking about any sort of priority, no sort of priority is given. It's equal for both.
Okay, so it is equal for all. So, can I know some statistics that what percentage of the batch consists of freshers? Do you have any idea of the same?
Yeah, so we are currently a batch of 85 students. And out of the 85 students, I think only around 8 to 10 people have work ex and the rest are freshers only. So
Okay,
you
so
can consider around, if even if you go for a more case, around 80-20%, you can take the ratio that people with the work ex and people with the freshers are over there.
okay, so that is the ratio. Anyway, like that, those data will be available on the batch profile on your
Yeah.
website, wherein students can check that what is the proportion. So there is no such thing that disqualifies one from having WorkX to get into this program, or a student who is a fresher cannot get into it. So there is nothing like that. Just prepare your things well, whatever you have on the your CV, plus do well on the GD, then you can sail through. Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, Ashi, so it is quite much clear that what is the process, what does the process look like, how one needs to prepare, and how they can ace this entrance, right? Now, some
Yeah.
of our users who are live, who are watching this stream live, might have some
Yeah.
queries. So, can you please address those queries one by one? Okay, so let's
Yeah.
uh, look at the query. So, we have someone asking that. Uh, Jasby like us, what do they look for in the folks in the interview and in GD? How many candidates are there in a group discussion? I think this already you had told. So just
I'll just repeat it. It's okay. So, what do they look in for you in
I
your
guess your
PI is
stream the
firstly
stream
your
was
awareness
lagging.
about your academics, second events throughout as a claim.
Your stream was lagging.
Okay.
Could you please repeat it?
Yeah, am I audible right now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I repeat again. So what we look for in your PI is number one, as you already mentioned, your content awareness, awareness about
Uh, Sorry, there is a lag from
academic.
your end.
Two is okay. Hi, am I audible right now, Pranav?
Yeah, now it is audible.
Yeah, so sorry, I think my internet connection went.
Okay.
So again, I'll repeat. Thing that they look in your PI is your content awareness, your awareness about your academics. Second thing that they look for you is your awareness about the things that is happening for you. It's very good that you're academically involved, but at the same time, you should know what is happening, your perspective, your views on the same. Third is people who are with the work ex. It's very important for you to justify that you what you did in your work ex. And yes, and third is your ability to analyze and answer as per what situation they put in front of you is your PI. How confident you are in answering your questions, your body language, your eye contact, everything matters in your PI, and you have marks for everything.
Okay.
So yeah,
So it is a cumulative efforts of what your profile is, how confident you are. Okay, a common query is that if someone does not have a very great profile, okay, let's say a person
yeah,
is not very good at academics, right? So do they still have the chance? If yes, how?
that's what I'm saying. You still have a chance. See, even if you do not have a very have a decent score, but again, you have a chance. I think there's always a chance to pull up by the way you answer the questions in your GDPI. See, your marks do have an impact, but they do not have this much impact. They're going to affect your admission. Your, the way you're answering the questions, your awareness about the questions, and whatever the question the interviewer is asking and how well you're able to answer it influence it a lot. So I think now at this point of stage, you should be focusing about how to prepare to your 200% ability, not even 100%. So that whatever they ask you, you must be able to answer it.
Okay, so another query, we have a query that will 10th and 12th marks be considered?
Talking about will 10th and 12th marks will be considered, I think they are considered for the evaluation, yes, but primarily the weightage is given to your GDPI, which is 25%, but they might be considered for the evaluation.
Okay, some internal, they might have like 1 or 2 marks, maybe not much. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
all
Yeah, for
right.
the internal evaluation, they could be used. Yeah.
Okay, one is the one query which is interesting and which is the most common query also about SRCC program is it is not a MBA degree. Many teachers are saying this. Okay, by teachers they do not mean teachers of some institutes. I mean these are just the people who create content on YouTube. So please do clarify that. Since we already talked about this, can you just clarify it again that it is not an MBA degree? So a lot of YouTubers claim that it is not an MBA degree, so one should not join. I mean, for that reason. So please clarify it again.
See, I think I have given enough reasons why to join GBO. Talking about why it's not an MBA degree, it is equivalent to any MBA degree. See, it being not an MBA degree doesn't give a reason to not join it, because I think we are doing fairly well as compared to any B school right now. So the reason why I'm saying this is because I think we are doing correct, because I think we are on par and we are performing fairly better to most of the B schools that are existing. We have everything that every B school provides you. We have the legacy of SRCC, we have the top-class faculty, we have the top-class infrastructure, we have the live projects, everything that is happening, which is happening as the full pace in SRCC GBO as well. So I think it being not an MBA degree should not be a reason of you not joining it. I think the reason for you to join it are many as compared to the reason of you of not joining it. So do join it. I think it provides you a lot amount of exposure. The kind of cohort of people that we're having it out here is excellent. It's
Okay,
equivalent
so
to any other B school that we have. So yeah.
okay, so yeah, you already gave the reasons that it is almost equivalent as the kind of activities that happen in the B school, the same you have, plus the kind of professors that you get at SRCC are would be even I would rate them much better than they people might get at other B schools. Okay, one thing can you throw some light on would be the career trajectory of the students who have passed out of SRCC GPO.
Okay, so talking about the career trajectory, they have a very, I would say, a growth amount of an increasing and a developing career trajectory. You get roles here that are related to get roles of manager, you get roles of management training, etc., like any other B school. And the trajectory is, I would say, it's a very developing, growing trajectory. It's equivalent to you getting a placement from any other B school and you getting the placement at SRCC GBO. So there are a lot amount of growth options that are available. Even the companies that hire children out of here or people out of here, they provide you a lot amount of exposure, like they had like the people they provide to the people they hire from the B schools. So I think that it's a very growing and an increasing career trajectory that every person who gets hired from SRCC GBO has.
Okay, so it is as good as doing an MBA in that sense as well. Right. So now we have
Yeah.
another query that is that do you have students from different streams to diversify the batch?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, we have a proper diversified batch. It's not like we have people from commerce background. No, we have people who have done science, we have who have done arts, who have done chemistry, who have done physics, who have done biotechnology. We have everyone. So it's a proper diverse batch. It's not a single profile oriented batch. You have everyone here. So yeah,
Okay, so
it's
no
there's
such
nothing like that. We have a
advantage or
single preference.
disadvantage to any of the streams.
No, 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 no. Everybody is there in the batch. Yeah.
Okay, so what not? So as far as our conversation has been, so what I figured out is one should not be worried about all these external factors. That what was their academics? Like if you have got a call, you have got a call. Try to prepare the best in the best possible manner so that you do extremely well on GD and PI and get into GBO because other things are irrelevant because these are all minor things like what academic background you have, how much academics you had, what is your work experience. Although there will be way to each of these factors, but that would be negligible as compared to your confidence that you exhibit during the interviews, the kind of knowledge that you portray. Okay, so those are the things that one must focus on at this point in time. So, any other queries? I would like to ask the users if they have any other queries, we can address that. And apart from that, I'll be sharing Ashi's LinkedIn profile link on the comments of this video. So, I'll pin that comment. So, Ashi, you can share your LinkedIn profile and also share the mail ID of the PR cell so that if students have any subsequent queries, they can mail to the cell and have it resolved. Because a lot of queries might come up in the later phase as
Sure,
well
sure.
that related to the conversion thing,
Yeah.
right, the waitlist movement, etc. That would be
Yeah.
subsequent queries. So please do provide your
Correct,
LinkedIn
correct.
profile
And
link
also,
in the
you
comments.
people can, yeah, I'll be sharing my LinkedIn ID. You can reach out to me anytime that you want. And also, you can reach out to the PRs, the SRCC GBO official page as well on LinkedIn and on Instagram as well. So we will be happy to answer your queries.
Okay, so you will get the contact details of the cell, so you can get all your queries clarified, whatever queries you have. Okay, so let's take up the last set of questions. One is about the placement, of course. That this is one which obviously people ask, and another question. One is that
Yeah.
what are the placement figures? Another is related to placement, which is are the placements in GBO around Delhi itself?
Okay, so firstly, the placements in GBO is not necessarily around Delhi. It could be in any part of, depending upon where a company has an opening for. So it's not like we get hired for the positions or the companies that are located in Delhi. No, you could get hired for the different states as well, maybe Hyderabad, anywhere. So you can. It's nothing like that. That's restricted to Delhi or NCR. Now, talking about, we are at par with any other B school in terms of the recruiters that we have. So we have DCM Shriram, we have American Express, Adani, lot of companies that come to our college for hiring people. And yes, we have a good cohort of big companies that come to our college for hiring people. And also talking about the figures, you can anytime reach to or go to our website. We have the placement brochure over there on our LinkedIn of the Corporate Relations and Placement Cell of SRCC GBO. You can anytime go there and check out the brochure of our placement profile that we have, and you can get a clear about idea about it. Say.
Okay, so it answers the queries related to the placement. Students can visit their like the website of the institute where they have uploaded all these details. Okay, one can get the details about the batch size, batch profile, like work X-wise distribution, etc. Okay, plus as well as placement figures, which are true. Okay, it is not that not inflated. Okay, these are the true pictures and the rest of the things that about the GDPI process we got to know from Aashi. Okay, so this clarifies most of the doubts related to the process. And if students have further doubts, they can contact on the LinkedIn profile she is providing here, and as well as the mail that you would be given to you regarding the process. Okay, so any last tip that you would like to give to the students?
Yeah, so firstly, it was great interacting with you all, and all the best for your GD and PI. I think half the battle is won, half is remaining, and I'm sure that you guys are going to perform really well. And tips, I think I've given a lot amount of tips. And if you need any further sort of additional information or guidance, you can anytime reach out to me, my fellow classmates, our batch, our senior batch, for any sort of doubts you have. We will be very happy to answer that. And we all, the SRCC GBO family, we look forward to welcoming you. So see you soon.
Okay, so thanks for the wishes to the viewers. I hope many of you would be converting the final call and would have Ashi as your senior at SRCC. So thanks, Ashi, for coming to this session and giving tips and clarifying all the details related to the GDPI program. And I hope the students must have benefited
Yeah.
from it. And as we discussed that she will be sharing the contact details wherein the students can reach out to in case of they have any further doubts related to the admission process. And we wish all the students very best for the further round.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, and all the best, everyone.